Hey, what's up everybody? So, I love trying to find new ways to optimize the way that I do things. Trying to become more efficient and more successful. And I feel like one of the best possible ways to do this is to emulate what successful people are already doing. So today in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 5 different habits or traits that successful people are doing. But before I go there, before I start the video, I would like to say this. It will mean the absolute world to me if you could like this video and subscribe. The more likes that I get, the more YouTube will recommend this video to a different audience and get more people to come in and watch. And that's especially important for me because I'm a new YouTuber. I have a very small fan base, very, very small. So any like that you give is actually making a difference in my life, and I'll greatly appreciate it. But either way, let's begin. Number 1, waking up early. For some it comes easy, and for some it's beyond difficult. But waking up early can have profound effects on your productivity, on your state of mind. There's been countless studies showing the effects of waking up early all the way to combating depression and relieving stress. According to a study done by the Universities of Birmingham and Surrey in the UK and Monash University in Australia, in which they conducted a small randomized control trial with 22 healthy men and women in their 20s over 6 weeks. The participants were considered to be night owls, defined as individuals whose internal body clocks dictated later than usual sleep and wake times, going to bed at 2:30 a.m. on average and rising up at 10:15 a.m. They wore sleep trackers and filled out questionnaires about their daily sleep and eating habits for 2 weeks before the study to provide a baseline for their lifestyle habits. Then they were randomly assigned to either an experimental group that was instructed to practice several sleep interventions to shift to an earlier sleep schedule, including going back to bed and waking up 2 to 3 hours earlier, while the control group was only told to eat lunch at the same time every single day, without being directed to change sleep habits. They provide regular saliva samples to researchers to measure their melatonin and cortisol, which is a stress hormone, during the study, and returned it to the lab for testing after a 3-week experimental period was completed. And the experimental group that adopted the new sleep habits consistently went to bed almost 2 hours earlier in the evening and rose almost 2 hours earlier the next morning, without the length or the quality of their sleep suffering at all. What's more, their self-reported feelings of depression and stress significantly decreased. According to the report, and rather than being groggy in the mornings, they also report increased cognitive function and physical performance early in the day, and their peak performance times moved up to the afternoon. Previously, they peaked at night. Now, I have personally been fortunate to innately be an early morning person, but I do agree with what this is saying. I've been very lucky to be overall a happier person and good with high stress situations. I do believe it has to do with me waking up early. It's just such a great feeling to know that you've already accomplished more than the next person before they even popped out of bed. Like working out, which leads us to the second habit. Habit number 2. Working out. At this point, there's no denying the benefits that come from working out. Working out can only make you look better and feel better. I mean, if you want to talk about fitness and success, just look at Jeff Bezos. Dude legit has a correlation with his size and how wealthy he has become. The effects of working out has been linked to improved concentration, which a study was done in 2015 where children who suffer from ADHD were split into 2 groups, one who exercised and one group that did not. The group that exercised had a 30% increase in performance. Also, faster learning and sharper memory. A study done in 2019 separated an older community into 3 groups. One did high intensity interval training, the second did moderate exercise, and third, all they did was stretch. The participants who performed aerobic exercise showed an improvement in memory. Exercise has also been connected to enhanced creativity. A new study in the journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience shows that regular exercisers do better on tests of creativity than their more sedentary peers. Specifically, the researchers know that regular exercise seems to be associated with improved divergent and convergent thinking, which are considered to be 2 components of creative thinking. The former involves thinking of multiple solutions for one problem, while the latter involves thinking of one solution for a problem. And finally, it's been linked to lower stress as well. Exercise releases endorphins, and those endorphins help you feel better throughout life. The first thing I do every day is I wake up and I drink a gallon of water, take a metric shit ton of supplements, and then go to the gym. I do a workout for 1 to 1.5 hours, and personally, I love it. It's one of the greatest joys of my life behind my wife and my children. I'm not the only one though. Look at Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, hell, even Warren Buffett talks about the importance and profound effects that comes from working out. Number 3, ownership. Now, I personally believe this to be the most important trait of all 5 that I'm going to talk about today. To take ownership is so important. Have you ever met one of those people where something isn't going their way? They always find a way to blame it on something or somebody. Oh, I didn't get that promotion because of him, or I didn't make it because of her. These people have something called a weak locus of control. So in 1954, Julian B. Rotter, an American psychologist, wrote about in his framework a concept of something called locus of control. Locus of control refers to how strongly people believe they have control of situations and experiences throughout their life. It is broken down into two groups. One, which is internal. It's people who believe they have control over their life. And the second is external. People who believe that their life is dictated by external forces that they don't have any control over. People who fall into the internal group generally live less stressful lives. They tend to be more successful and even are typically more healthy. I like to think about it like this. Imagine you are in a car. This car represents your life. It is currently going 80 miles per hour down the freeway. The speed of the car and the freeway represent the chaos and fast-paced aspects of life around you. If you suffer from external locus of control, you are letting the car continue to speed down the freeway, and shit, if it crashes, then it must be the car's fault. Or you could have an internal locus of control and grab that fucking steering wheel and control where the car needs to go. You have to take life by the helm. You have to be the captain of your ship or the driver of your car. This is the only way to freedom and success, in my opinion. I personally live by this rule. I try to take ownership at every given opportunity. I want to be the one controlling my life, so that means even taking ownership when bad shit happens. One of my favorite role models is Jocko Willink. Jocko Willink is a badass retired Navy SEAL commander who wrote a book called Extreme Ownership, where he talks about the importance of taking ownership. It is a must read. And taking ownership, I personally believe, will change your life and make you more successful over time. Number 4, creating a to-do list. Look, if you're going to want to be successful or be an entrepreneur, you need to have structure in your life. One of the best tools to having structure is creating a to-do list. Having your priorities or goals listed out in front of you makes it a lot easier to keep you on track and make sure you are not getting derailed from the task at hand. Another helpful trick that goes along with a to-do list is something called eating the frog. So Brian Tracy wrote a book called Eat That Frog, which talks about the importance of when you have a to-do list, it is best to do the hardest task first before the small ones. This is known as eating the frog. You're getting the hardest task out of the way to reduce procrastination and inspire or encourage motivation. I personally write to-do lists because I feel it helps me declutter my mind. A lot of times I know I have stuff that I need to get done, but when I get to my workstation, I kind of just blank out unless I have my daily objectives written out for me to follow. Last but not least, following a routine. I feel as though a routine goes hand in hand with creating a to-do list. If you ever research what top performers in any given field usually have in common, is that they stick to a routine and they stick to it religiously. It all has to do with structure and discipline. To quote Jocko Willink, the guy I brought up before, the badass Navy SEAL commander, he says, "While discipline and freedom seem like they sit on opposite sides of the spectrum, they are actually very connected. Freedom is what everybody wants. To be able to act and live with freedom, but the only way to get to a place of freedom is through discipline. If you want financial freedom, you have to be financially disciplined. If you want more free time, you have to follow a more disciplined time management system." This is why routine is such an important factor behind successful people, in my opinion. If you create a routine, it helps instill discipline, which then ultimately leads to freedom. For this, I think it would be fun if I broke down my routine throughout the day. So it starts off at 3:30 to 3:45 a.m. I wake up. I know, really early, but just like habit number 1, waking up early, I practice what I'm preaching. I wake up early at 3:30 a.m. 4 a.m. I take a hot bath, not a shower, a bath. I feel it helps start the day in a relaxed state. 4:20 to 4:30 a.m. I drink nearly a gallon of water, a variety of different supplements, and a pre-workout that contains DMAA. That's that really good stuff that you can't really find on the shelves anymore. 4:40 a.m. I arrive at the gym. I do moderate to high intensity workouts for about 1 to 1.5 hours. 6 a.m. I try to catch up on any news about any of my current stock positions. And then I stare at the pre-market, waiting for it to open. 6:30 a.m., market opens. I spend about 30 minutes maintaining my portfolio, selling things if I need to sell, buying things if I need to buy, all that good stuff. 7 a.m., I then make coffee for my wife. I spend about 30 minutes with her and my children before my daughter has to go to school. 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., I work on my candle business, either writing blogs, creating social media content, or fulfilling orders. 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. I work on YouTube content. 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. is lunchtime and family time. 1 p.m. to 3 a.m. more work on candle business and YouTube. 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. is free for all. Between the random things that pop out in life, or spending time with family, or working on things that I felt like I need to give more attention to that I didn't finish earlier in the day. Then 7:30 p.m. I prepare for bed, and I'm lights out by 8 p.m. I personally love sticking to the schedule, like the aforementioned, because I feel it creates a pattern. Once that pattern is created, it is as though things become easier. Your brain automatically gets prepared for the next task at hand because it has grown accustomed to following the schedule. All right, everybody. There's been 5 habits or traits that I feel is detrimental to becoming more of a successful person. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I created some sense of value. And if I did create a sense of value, please hit the like button. It really helps out. Or subscribe. Or do both. It helps. And I appreciate it if you did it. Also, if you really want, I have a Patreon down in the link below. It'd mean the world if you check that out. Join the Patreon. But I digress. Thank you once again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.